Some people will never, never, never sacrifice comfort for the sake of style. But on the contrary, people like me will never, never, never sacrifice style for the sake of comfort. In this specific atelier, you were not only able, as you explained, to craft bespoke from head to toe. I also heard that your customers in this bespoke atelier were able to have their bespoke fabric. How do you do that?
That's another interesting part and another interesting chapter of this idea of bespoke wardrobe. So if I go back to the Achille farm or the Tec Merino, basically we have both generation of heritage of technical fabrics, or as in the vicuña and the cashmere product, we also go on the luxury side of the wardrobe, and we can create from that specific fabrics whatever is possible. What is really interesting to tell today, though, is that we really like the idea of a unique wardrobe, which is not only quality, but is also the possibility of choosing something that is made for you, starting from the raw material. So we were thinking of how that was possible, and mostly how was possible to combine that with a bespoke. And in our Trivero mill, actually, the design team has bought several looms with the idea of designing exclusive fabrics with one length. So we combined that idea with the bespoke atelier business model. And basically, today it's possible to choose your own pattern, to go to La Scala or wherever you like, to choose your own fabric to do the best Angora alpaca cashmere topcoat or outerwear, or velvet for the dinner jacket of your dream. At the same time, you can also ask your own design, your own color, or you can copy a thing that a customer did, the jacket of your father, because you want to represent that fabric, which was a fabric of your dream when you were a kid, into your own life for yourself with a new weight.
With no minimum length?
4 meters.
4 meters.
4 meters, because these looms are working on the minimum quantity of 10 meters total. But we all know that when a fabric is out of the loom, there is the beginning and the last part of it that you don't use, because where the yarn that we were using when in the orditura process, we were preparing the fabric to be woven. Okay. So whatever is worsted or woolen, pettinato or cardato, whatever you do, a coat or a jacket or a pant fabric, but we can weave 4 net meters only for one suit, okay, without any kind of crazy minimum.
So Alessandro, does it mean, concretely, if I find an old Glen plaid from the 1930s that was produced in England with a special Scottish plaid, etc. I can come here, show you the piece of fabric or the pattern, and you can weave 4 meters for my suit. Is that correct?
Exactly, it's correct. So we can really weave whatever you dream to have, or decide to have that design into a different weight. Because it can be that your father or your uncle best topcoat was the beautiful fabric of your life, or maybe the weight was too high for what the time today is. So you can really decide to design the same, or to design the same with few changes, or whatever you like, with 4 meters minimum, yes.
Is there a long delay to have this done?
Basically, we know that the delay is something we need to consider in the pret-à-porter, but not in bespoke, because by the time you have your pattern and your first prova,
yes,
out of the 3 or 4 prova from the tela, from the toile d'essayage.
Prova is fitting.
Exactly, and from that moment we start with the fabric production. So by the time your first fitting is on place, the fabric is done. Okay.
If there is a style of Zegna in bespoke, which style are we talking about?
First of all, the question of each tailor having his own style is a very, first of all, it's true, and it's a very interesting thing in this business. It's like if you go I can say, to a barber which has a style, and you go there because you like that type of cut and idea behind it. So I personally love the fact of having signature which are belonging to the companies, the tailors, the families, the tradition that these people are putting on place.
Absolutely.
What sometimes, though, that is distracting or maybe is not perfect for the person is that that style should evolve. So if you go to a special night with your partner because you go to l'opera or you go to a fantastic chic dinner, maybe a specific style is appropriate, but could not be the same for a different moment of your life with that type of suit, if the suit is not black or dark and is a day type of fabric. So what we decided to do here, and this is our interpretation, is that we keep the segment of proportions, we keep the ideas, so segment I mean the top and the bottom, the ideas of styling from the collar to the lapel, from the shoulder to the padding, from the pants bottom to the waist, up to the gilet, and also for all the other garments in the wardrobe, as the couture collection of Ermenegildo Zegna is. Okay. So we have our own shoulder, our own, normally we have a little open, but not too evident. We have all the detail which are not that big, but not tiny, good Italian or let's say Milanese proportion, which is typical of a Milanese school. We have all the outerwear and the top coat deconstructed, so light with a very light lining and a very light canvas. We choose with Mario and Angelo very light canvas component to do this generation of garments. But at the same time, we are evolving the collection as the seasons are moving. So if there is an evolution in the fashion show or in the pret-à-porter, we move that evolution also on bespoke. And then it's up to the conversation that the tailors drives to the customer to propose that classic lapel that is our signature, or the new one which is part of the last collection, which maybe Angelo and Mario are thinking that are more appropriate for that look. So the conversation goes to the level of proposing a style which is, for us, update to the customer and also to the look the customer wants to build something really unique. We don't stay stable to one look, but we move the look, even if it's belonging to our tradition, accordingly.
What you, Alessandro Sartori, would see for me, Ugo Giacomet, as a bespoke suit here?
It's a very challenging question, Ugo. But yes, no, I follow you since many years. I follow the work you do, and I have great respect for all your work and your team. But what is really interesting to me is to try to propose something that suits you the same way, or let's say in the same chicness way you wear today, in a different moment. I would really love, if I have a project to do, to think about yourself in sportswear, bespoke sportswear. So a nice blouson or a nice caban, a beautiful, fully fashioned cashmere sweater, a very nice chic pant, and the idea to represent yourself with the same style, but on a different moment of your life. That's my ambition as far as this project.
I like this idea to go for a silhouette in casual, which, as you know, is not exactly my world, but I'm up to the challenge with Alessandro, and I'm sure we're going to do something. Thank you so much, Alessandro, for this nice conversation.
Thank you so much.
We wish the best to the Zegna Bespoke Atelier, because I know the people who are working behind the curtains, Mario Pecora, Angelo Pecora. They are great people, and I believe that the fusion between your creativity, the firepower of Zegna in terms of fabric and innovation, research and development, and the tradition of these people can really create something extremely special. This ends this special episode of Sartorial Talks in Milan, and I give you an appointment for the next show that will be in 2 weeks. Cheers.
Ciao.